This is unprecedented. I'm Adam Klein, winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X. Super duper fans, gather round. It's time for another installment of Survivor Talk with D&D.
Welcome to our recap and feedback show for episode 3 of Survivor, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. I'm Dwaine, I'm here with David, and we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. Now, before we get to our initial thoughts, and before I introduce David, or before he talks, we are having a D&D Patron Sweepstakes, all right? The winner gets a signed buff and a Skype call with David Wright of Millennials versus Gen X. Okay, so that's going to be good. In fact, every patron from if you're a patron in November, October and November, you get a signed, what is that? A signed picture from him as well. But anyway, 3 people are actually going to get to be on the Skype call. So that's a D&D patron sweepstakes. You want more information on that? Just go to our website, stwdd.com, and you will see it. The big, bold thing underneath the video. So, David, how has your day been going?
Today's been okay. The week was not great, but today's gotten better. Yeah.
So, may I ask if I can tell people what happened in your living room? Live on the air, may I ask that?
Sure.
So, David, what happened in your living room?
So, my mother-in-law lives with us now. And Monday morning, I was getting ready to leave the house, and she was walking through the house and came to the foyer at the front door and saw a little creature.
A little creature.
About a foot long. It saw her, and it ran into the living room under the gold chair.
It ran?
It ran as best it could. Yes. Without feet.
It had little legs? Oh, it slithered.
It slithered. Thank you. Much better terminology.
Oh, my goodness.
So after I lifted the chair and killed that, problem was I didn't clean it up very well. So when I killed it, it may have released some body odor or blood or something. I just didn't notice it when I did it, not thinking because I had to leave. Well, we come back later and there's something else inspecting that site. and it's about 2 feet bigger.
It's his mama.
No, it's its eater. It was a king snake. The first one was a black rat
king snake?
A small black rat snake. The second one was a king snake.
Red and black friend of Jack?
No, it was black and yellow.
Red and yellow kill a fella. Oh, it wasn't a red, black, and yellow.
No.
Okay.
It was black and I got a picture of it. It was black. I got a picture of it dead.
Oh my gosh.
Black and yellow.
How can you even? I mean, you are in a room where there could potentially be deadly snakes at your feet. You are like living Survivor right now. This is how you do a Survivor podcast.
Okay, you say so.
So what does your wife say? Very, very quickly, because we need to get to the show. But what did your wife...
The real estate sign's out front right now.
I was wondering, maybe. So.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So I have an initial thought.
But the reason that the second snake was there, because it was looking for the first snake. The second snake eats snakes. And it smelled what I didn't clean up from the first snake. So it's cleaned up now.
So you lured the second snake in.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you're like, here, sneaky, 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 sneaky. Oh, man. So with 3 tribes, David, is it really smart on days 1 through 7 to play like your tribe will be together forever? And that's kind of what I feel like is happening. And it happens every season. They're constantly talking about who they're going to vote out. Who, if they lose, if we lose, who are we going to vote out? Why not play like, you're going to have to vote somebody out, but, you can do that kind of private, talk about those things occasionally privately, but whatever. But why not talk about the mix-up? How are we going to handle a mix-up? And include everybody, even the person you think you're going to end up voting out. How are we going to handle this? How will we stay together? Will we have secret looks and stuff like that? Why not concentrate on that? And if they are doing it, then why isn't CBS showing it? So I'm just saying that would be like talking about it as a tribe, and then you can go off in your little groups and talk just in case we lose talk, right? Mm-hmm. But why not, focus on what happens if we mix up? We never hear that.
Well, we did hear it from Ryan.
No, he said merge. Are you talking about it at Tribal Council?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said merge. He wasn't even talking. No, Ryan was talking merge.
Okay. But I still think they're thinking about a swap, a shuffle that they know is probably going to happen. But you still got to me, it doesn't hurt to have that just in case we win.
Well, that's what I said, though. That's what I said. Have those. But is it just CBS isn't showing us them having the full tribe? See, I'd be like, all right, y'all, let's all sit around the fire. And what happens if we do a mix-up tomorrow? This is what we're going to do.
I'm with you now. And I'm wondering if they're trying to edit it so that next week is like just a wow. Here we go. It's all brand new. We don't know how they're going to react now because we haven't really heard anything about what they're going to do.
Okay.
So, wow, here we go. I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine because you're right. Everything, this episode to me felt like cutting room floor videos from episode 1.
Yeah.
It was so casual and so laid back. But, yeah, I think they're holding back some. Oh, they're obviously holding back some stuff. We know that, obviously, for time. But, yeah, I think speaking too far ahead, I mean, we don't get to hear anymore. Let's talk about what could happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what could happen in 2 days. Yeah, we don't really get that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to hear. Do they sit around? I'm going to ask, like, whenever you're doing in your initial thought, and I'm supposed to be listening, I'm going to text one of the survivors and ask them, do you sit around as a tribe and talk about, okay, what if we mix up tomorrow? Because I'm interested in that. That's
a good question. Do you do it as a tribe or do you do it privately?
Yeah.
Because as a tribe, you want everybody to feel comfortable.
Yeah. Miriam says Ryan and Devin did, but I want to know if the entire tribe sits together and talks about it.
Yeah. So did Ryan talk about the swap or about the merge? Because all I heard was merge as well. That's all I remember.
At Tribal Council, she's saying that at another time during the show, they were talking about it.
And I'm pretty sure he said merge then too.
Oh.
Now, whether he was talking about the merge, or I agree with Patty that I just think it's done privately, and I think it's the edit not trying to give away the next scene, the next segment, the next episode. Because to me, one of my initial thoughts was this episode is the calm before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
This was a forgettable episode except for the end, and overall, this stuff will probably come out in the next few episodes. Some of the tidbits that we got this week, but overall, this was a very calm episode. And to me, the biggest thing of this episode was the decision made at the end by 3 people, Allie, Devin, and Ryan, which way to go. That was probably the biggest thing of the whole episode, because who knows what's going to happen with Joe, Cole, and Jessica next week.
Right.
Who knows what's going to happen with the heroes next week. So this was just a very calming episode, but you know what? Any Survivor is good Survivor. I like camp life. I've said it before. I'd rather see more camp life. And if this is what we get.
Well, we saw camp life.
This is exactly. We got a lot of camp life. I like the one challenge reward immunity combo, especially when they're good.
Oh, I do too.
I like that because I like more strategy talk, but I want to hear what you're talking about. I want to hear them talk about, hey, in 2 days, what happens if we're on opposite tribes?
Yeah.
You know,
how are we
I want to hear that too.
That's right. All right.
I have to get used to this new intro. I'm not used to all the. That's not in the notes, is it? Is that in the notes?
No, it's in my show notes because once we get into initial thoughts, I'm not in that other document, so I have to put my cue to do that in my regular document.
So those that aren't watching, I start getting the Dwaine. His lips are sealed and he's nodding like, as soon as you're done talking, I'm going to do something else.
I was just waiting for – well, I mean, I was enjoying initial thoughts, you know. I like this new way of doing it. Oh, well, then let's back up. Hold on.
My goodness.
I thought you were done.
That
is my brain. Golly, that's long. That was my brain just then. All right, David, tell us.
Well, you didn't really come to me for my initial thoughts. I just kind of commented off of yours.
Well, no, I thought I heard you say, and that's part of my initial thought while I was texting Jessica and Ryan.
So this is what it's like to have a partner that doesn't listen. Okay?
Yeah, now you know how I feel. All right.
Actually, I think I covered them except for one, and that is Patrick is not good at playing the game Survivor. I'm sorry, he's just not good.
No. He's really not.
So many bad things. But that's all I've got for my initial thoughts.
Wait, after all of that, you had one thing to say. You could have
I
put
did.
that anywhere in the podcast, anywhere in the world, and it would have worked just fine. But you had to bring it up.
We're such a positive podcast. We don't like to
Yes.
put people down, but I just had to say,
Yeah.
he didn't. Now he may be different a second time, but he just didn't get it this time. So many red flags, and I don't mean as a pun, but so many red flags going off
David.
with him.
Oh, David. So many red flags going off. Nice. All right.
Okay.
Hustlers, day 7. By the way, stupid name Hustlers has caused every single YouTube video I put up to get flagged for being inappropriate because it says Hustlers in the title.
Wait till we get the season where it's the basement versus the penthouse.
Yeah, then I'm really going to be in trouble. Gosh, so I have to review this manually.
Yeah.
And by the time they do all that, any money we would have gotten from advertising is gone. But anyway, Hustlers Day 7. It's time to walk around in other people's clothes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That tells me Simone was ready to go, because I think she had an inkling she was going, and she didn't care what she brought with her. She didn't probably want those dirty clothes anymore. She just wanted fresh clothes, air conditioned, and to be gone.
Huh.
So I think she didn't care.
Really?
Yeah.
My thought was so you think she just I don't care about these clothes. I'm just going
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They're dirty. They're disgusting. I don't want them.
Probably so. But it was a fun little segment. And my favorite line is from Ryan, who, boy, is he on my... Please tell me he's on my... Oh, no wonder I'm losing. Great.
You don't have Ryan?
No, shut up.
How could you not pick the David and Cochran of this season?
I know, it's stupid. Well, I picked Mike instead. I thought Mike would be the one that did all the narrating.
I did too. I
But
put him down as my double point person.
I've got 5 people on the Healers tribe, so I don't ever get any points because they're winning and we don't ever have to see them.
Yeah, who's Mike?
Yeah, really. He said one thing, and it was I was a sex doctor. Oh, that's probably going to get me.
Way to go. No
But
cha-ching
anyway,
this week.
Ryan's, boy, what a great line. Finally, Simone is showing her worth in some capacity. That was a great line, Ryan, if you're listening. That was
And you know what? They made it entertaining because we don't get to see this in past seasons. We see them wearing somebody's jacket at another challenge.
Right.
We see them wearing a hat or something. We don't get to see them rummaging through somebody's clothes.
Right.
But it's almost like if you guys make it funny, you'll get it on the episode.
Yep.
And they did. It was hilarious.
Well, they did. I mean, those boots went half up Ryan's thighs.
Yeah.
A little hyperbole there, but still, it was kind of funny to watch him wearing them. So now it's going to be whoever has the boots on are obviously going out looking for the idols.
Right.
Yeah, obviously. All right. So Ryan's telling the story for us, and then it's interesting. Is he talking to Patrick when he says between Allie and Lauren, and basically Allie's staying between Allie and Lauren? Like that was a...
Yeah, let me talk about this because I want to get your thought on what I took out of it. It was Lauren and Allie walked off. Patrick and Ryan are talking, and Ryan says, "Do you have a preference between the two?" Mm-hmm. And Patrick goes, "Allie," and Ryan goes, "To go," and Patrick goes, "To stay." Now, what do you think Ryan's intention was when he said "to go"? Because is he trying to confirm that he agrees that Allie should go first?
No.
Really?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were...
No. I'm asking you, but I took it as, well, let's think about a conversation like that. You mean, if we've sung together and if I brought you 2 songs and you said, which one are we doing at the beginning of the set? Which one are we doing at the end? And I said, Surrender All. You would say, I'm thinking you would say where you would think I would want it and that you would agree as in, oh, you want that first? No, I'm thinking that last. I'm just thinking that your initial reaction to my comment of which one I prefer, you're going to comment to what you think I'm going to say, and you're going to agree. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Ryan's comment was to go.
That's because, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that's because Ryan's intent of the question was, who is your preference to go? So whenever he said Allie, he was confirming, okay, this is what I meant by my question. Because I think he was surprised. right? I think he was anticipating Lauren, and so whenever he said Allie, he's like, to go? That's the way I took it.
Well, see, I heard it as to go, as in you're saying to go. But I agree with your question that he was asking who. Well, only Ryan can answer. Do you have a preference between the two? As in, it was a very open-ended question. Do you have a preference who we work with? Do you have a preference who we vote out next?
Well,
do you have a preference who works best with us?
Right.
It was very open-ended. So good on Ryan if he meant it to be open-ended, but he got Patrick to reveal his intentions and his thoughts. So
okay.
I was getting too much out of it. Maybe I was thinking that Ryan was saying to go, as in like, if you're wanting to go, I'm with you to vote her out.
Yeah, I think you're taking 5 Legos to do what you could do with 2. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Ryan was thinking that. I think he was just going, so who's your preference? And he was thinking one way, and whenever Patrick didn't answer that way, he was like, so. But on the other hand, as Miriam says, Ryan's awfully smart, so he could have been doing exactly what you said.
He proved he was smart because Patrick's response was, "Are you good with Allie?" And Ryan said, "Of course I'm good with Allie because you just said you're good with Allie, so I'm going to be good with Allie whether I am or not."
Very good point. Maybe it was an open-ended question so that he could agree with him.
Right.
Unlike what Ben did later with Jessica, which we'll get to later. So much for agreeing with people. All right, anyway.
And here's the part I hate about this tribe. Ryan says that Allie is relatable. He's talking about their good traits. She's relatable. She's close in age. Hello. Lauren doesn't seem to have anything going with anyone, which makes her the next one to go. I mean, this was editing feeding us this, trying to build us up to this. But at the same time, it seems to be about age. Mm-hmm. But even Devin says later that she doesn't blend in with people. She doesn't mix well with people.
Well, when there's nothing else, when there's no other reason to vote someone out, you go with the obvious. Age, or they don't sit with the tribe. What Patrick's problem was, Patrick gave somebody a reason to vote him out. And so then Lauren being on the outs wasn't as important anymore.
I think the only time you don't have to have a reason to vote somebody out is the first day, because after 3 days or 6 days, you better have a reason to keep somebody and you better have a reason to vote somebody out. I would think at that point, at least you'd have that.
Right. And I apologize. I did mean Ben and Ashley, not Ben and Jessica.
Good, because I thought you were talking next week, and I haven't seen anything about next week.
No, my bad. I didn't even watch Next Week On tonight. But anyway.
Lauren admits having a hard time feeling being included, and I love that she said, these are all like high school kids, and I'm like the teacher. Mm-hmm. You know, I just felt bad for her.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. How'd you like to have that world's largest bathtub in your backyard?
That's amazing. That is the most beautiful. And I hear I see on Twitter all these people saying, I'm getting tired of Fiji. Really?
How can you get tired of Fiji?
I would never know we were in Fiji.
Well, first of all, are you telling me that if we put up 5 different locations, you could tell me which one was Fiji?
I cannot.
No. These people can't do that. They're just, hey, you don't have your lower third up. Get your lower third up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Our video's swapping, doing all kinds of weird stuff. But anyway. So she said, like you said, she's the only one with the kid. Now, Lauren tries to pull the whole trust most of the tribe line that Patrick said last night, which I, again, stand by my initial thought that is not, stand by what I said last week, that's not a big deal. All he had to do was say, yeah, I don't trust the person we're voting out. So maybe it's the way Patrick handled it that made it end up being a problem. But whatever the case, Lauren is trying to use it now against him.
Yes, I think Lauren is going to latch on to anything he says that's out of the ordinary. And I think Allie says at this episode that Ryan just keeps saying the wrong words. He can't quite put it all together. Yeah. And that's something that was weird, too, in that Patrick keeps saying the wrong words and can't put things together.
No, it's David that keeps saying the wrong words.
But yes, thank you. But Patrick at Tribal is not Patrick at camp. Mm-mm. 2 totally different people. And I think if Patrick at Tribal would have been Patrick with Lauren, Patrick and Lauren might have got along. But Patrick was the type of person that Lauren was not going to get along with.
Right.
The way he acted. So that just really hit me this episode for some reason. Patrick was really almost like respectful and just more calm and yes, sir, and no, sir. I was waiting for those words to come out during Tribal.
Yeah. But one thing I think I've noticed is that when Patrick was trying to be what Allie said he needed to be, he wasn't natural anymore. Mm-hmm. And it was obvious. It was offsetting. It was off-putting. It wasn't natural for him. And so it put him off. And I really feel like if he had just been allowed to be himself, who cares if Lauren likes him, right? The only thing that they were upset about, well, okay, granted, he woke up early and woke everybody up, and there's other things. I guess the main thing I'm saying is that he tried not to be himself, and he wasn't very good at it. There you go.
And I want to talk about this now because I wrote this down later, but I don't think Ryan himself is the best person to be in a tribe because he was himself for the first few days. And who was he close to?
Yeah.
Only the person that he knew pregame. Nobody else was aligned with Patrick that we saw really close. Nobody else was hanging out with Patrick. People were actually not with Patrick. Right. Patrick was alone. And it just, to me, it seemed not hypocritical, but it seemed reverse, as in, if she let me be myself, I could be good with people. I'm like, you've been yourself with Lauren for 6 days, and she can't stand the sight of you.
Yeah, and also he's been himself around Ryan and Devin, and they're like, he's always out looking for idols. And see, the reason why I think that's an indication of their relationship is because when you already don't kind of like somebody or they're getting on your nerves, anything they do gets on your nerves, right? Mm-hmm. Like if I loved you to death and you went out looking for an idol, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try to help him not get caught. But if you're already annoying me around camp and you go looking for an idol, it's going to annoy me that you're out looking for an idol.
Right.
Because we always judge people or look at their actions based on our feelings towards them.
And this is where I thought you were kind of going before the intro music, when you were talking about being the first group and then swapping into different groups, how, working together. This is what's so important is those first few days. If you could bond like Ryan and Devin did, Ryan and Devin are going to start making eye contact if they're on different tribes the whole time they're out there.
Chrissy and Ben will also.
As in like, I've got her, you get him, type thing. And that's, like you said, it's so important. Patrick has none of that. If Patrick makes it to next week, he is a lone survivor out there making a goofball of himself, looking for octopus and rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's a turtle. No, it's a green rock. Go back to the shelter. By the way, you said they're going to be making eyes at each other, and I thought Jessica and Cole will be too, but it won't be for the game.
Jessica will be going, who else did you tell?
Yeah.
Who else did you tell?
And Cole will be looking like, oh. And so will Jessica, though. They're both head over heels over each other and don't even know it. It's weird.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to move on to Heroes, the other losing tribe? Because the only winning tribe is Healers, which was very evident by the music. Whenever they introduced Healers, all of a sudden it's this majestic, powerful, victorious music.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That's true. It was. Yeah. It was very bright and high and loud.
Yeah. And then later, even whenever Probst announced that Heroes won, he basically said, well, since the Healers did a little mistake, you won.
Exactly. That's true. He did.
You wouldn't have earned it, but you didn't really earn it, but you won. So we get Chrissy and Ben talking, and they all want to work with us. Unless they're just throwing us a big editing bone out in another direction, Chrissy and Ben really seem to have a good lock on this.
They seem very comfortable talking to each other.
Yeah.
Almost like they've known each other for a long time. And this is how you need to be playing Survivor. You got to be empathetic to other people. Listen to them, speak well to them, and they'll speak well to you.
Yeah.
Show some form of honesty, and they're all good. I mean, Alan only hurt himself. He allowed Chrissy to take his place next to Ben.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah. I'm sorry. So Patty in the chat room, going back to Patrick, calling people stupid didn't help Patrick either.
No.
That's what she said. Yeah.
No. That was Patrick being Patrick.
Yeah. So we get some fun moments, again, with a new tribe. We did a fun moment with the Hustler tribe. Now we're doing a fun moment with the Hero tribe. Mm-hmm. Alan can't open up a coconut. One thing I love that he said, I'm going to laugh about it so people don't notice I can't open up a coconut. No,
exactly.
They still notice.
Yes.
They're all looking at you and laughing with you. So... But anyway,
but they're not worried about him holding a machete and being too upset because he's laughing.
My goodness! I tell you what, every time he swung that machete with his hand on the coconut,
yeah.
Oh, you put your hand on the coconut,
lose all the fingers. I was worried. I was waiting for the music to build up.
Oh, yeah.
But it never did. I was like, okay, he's safe. He's safe.
No more hand.
They talk about the different people. They talk about who they're going to work with. Ashley is fun, a hard worker. Alan is a hothead, loose cannon. JP doesn't know what's going on, but he fishes.
Hey,
he's on my tribe.
That's what I know, and that's what I said in our preseason party with Jessica and Jessica Lewis and David Wright. Go listen to it if you haven't. That JP just was like, "What? Survivor's what?" Like he didn't really know. He's just there.
He's just there.
He's a so laid back guy. He's just gonna go fishing, And
he's just getting dreamier and dreamier.
Oh man, David! Every time he comes out of that water with a different fish, I just want to look at that fish and say how big it is. It's amazing.
Just keep him happy.
I mean,
but I can't talk to him alone.
Yeah, but I can't be alone with him. Ashley was smitten. She's getting smitten. Getting smitten. I sound like a southern. I'm getting smitten.
Another smitten kid.
I'm gonna get me a girl, or I'm gonna be smitten.
But this is another bad form in Survivor World when Ashley is having a good conversation with Ben about who to work with, and it's almost like Ben has changed. Last week, Ashley was the best candidate to work with, except that she was untrusting. She was too smart and untrusting. But now Ben's actually, like you said, starting to believe her more, starting to talk to her more. But it's too obvious that she's pushing up JP's stock and pushing down Alan's stock.
You're absolutely right. But still, Ben, realizing that, should have let her do it and agreed with her.
Yes.
Unless they're close. I mean, okay, so if they're close like he and Chrissy are close, then okay. But they're not super close. So you've got to let her feel like you agree with her. You always want people to feel like you agree with them in the game of Survivor.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because when Ben says that, it's still obvious that they're a power couple, I think I can see Alan over there laughing. I told you, but I mean, I think everybody saw it, but I just go back to, well, Alan got his point across. He wants people remembering that they're a power couple,
but they weren't. Whenever he said it, they weren't. So his strategy worked. Is that what you just said, though?
They were. I think they were because they'd already separated into a twosome. And by this episode, she's in love. So she's going to follow what he says. And I like what he said about JP, that he's kind of like a puppy. And she's like, well, he can be our puppy. Yeah. He's like, yeah, but if somebody else holds out a bigger piece of meat, he's going to be their puppy.
Yeah, true. What Ben didn't say is what he thought. That's awkward. He can be our puppy. That's awkward.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get to healers?
Please.
No.
The sun is brighter. The grass is greener.
Oh yeah. The music's louder. There's more brass. Lots of great instrumentation here.
And we get the kiss of boot when Joe gives the everything is good. We're all on the same page. I'm cool and collected right now. Things couldn't really go better at this point speech. Mm-hmm. Are we seeing the next boot? No. But anyway.
I don't know. Cole's got we're going to get to it, but Cole's got the right idea. We're going to talk about it later, but he just did it at the wrong time. But we'll talk about it.
Yes.
All right. So Cole knows, Joe goes, but Cole knows I have the idol, and that makes me a little worried. Well, yeah, he and Jessica are practically smooching out there on the ocean.
I love what he said. The lovebird sickness is worse than the flu. That's what Joe said. It's worse than the flu, man.
Wow. That is great. So Cole and Jessica are fishing again. I bet that tribe has all you can eat, salmon or whatever. I guess there's not salmon in the ocean, but
wow. Fish much?
Yeah. All you can eat catfish. No,
right.
A little bass. Anyway, all you can eat fish every single night because all they ever do is go fishing. It seems like. So
it kind of was like a needle in the side when she said, "This is our only chance to be alone."
Yeah.
But that means there's only two of you and there's four people not with you.
That's right.
And the more time you spend away, but being a couple can be dangerous, but we're going to go fishing again.
Yeah. And then we're going to lay on the beach and I'm going to give them a kiss.
The two of us.
Right. But what do you notice anything interesting about this power couple? What's not being shown Not with them, but with the other 4. I'm really helping you here.
That the other 4 aren't talking.
They're not talking about it.
That we've seen, right?
Yeah. Well, CBS isn't showing it to us, so
what they're showing us is little sound clips that are separate. And we don't know if that means they're aligned or they're actually talking to Joe, but we get things later about Joe's complains a lot. Joe does this after the Cole mouth vomiting situation. But you're right. We're not getting hardly anything from the healers because they keep winning.
No.
But in the grand sense of it all, we're getting Joe finding the idol and we're getting the lovebirds. Everybody else is just there.
True. I'm specifically talking about the other 4 aren't talking about the couple.
Right.
At all. I don't think I have yet to hear a single comment, well, other than Joe saying he and Jessica hang around a lot. But that wasn't like, and that worries me because they're a power couple. So anyway.
Now, since we're talking about what they're showing and not showing, does that mean that they're not in danger, Cole and Jessica? Because surely Rourke is in a confessional going, those 2 are inseparable. And that is scary. I've seen it happen before. It's going to happen again. Those 2 that's a problem. Whether I work with them or not, the fact that they're as close as they are, if I'm down the road with them 2, I'm the one that's out.
Well,
Rourke is that smart. Mike is that smart.
It certainly doesn't play into the ultimate story at this point.
Correct. I agree.
Obviously, it does not. If they get swapped onto another tribe together and the Hustlers, anything the other tribes can do to point them out, they will. So it's almost like their relationship only furthered the story of letting the rest of the tribe know that Joe had the idol. Right. True.
That's about all it served.
Also tonight, everybody realized that Mike doesn't have the idol and that Joe's been lying along with throwing food out in the bush.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, so really the best thing that could happen for Jessica and Cole would be to be separated at the swap. Because I think they would be safer that way.
Yeah.
If they're I don't know. I guess it depends.
It also depends on how much their tribe mates tell.
Yeah.
Is Joe going to reveal who they are and that they're that close together? Or is anybody going to know about JP and Ashley? But my question was at the end of that scene was, did they talk about how to use the information of the idol? Because Jessica's putting a lot of faith in this young guy that he's going to do what she thinks he should do. Did they go over it? And apparently I don't think they did.
Right. We just spent a lot of time talking about what those 2 should have been talking about. But this whole scene was more about them as a couple than idol conversation.
Yep.
This whole scene was about them as a couple. It's almost like the Rob and Amber thing. It's like that was a focus. It was the focus on them as a couple.
But do you see Cole going up to Alan at the 2 tribe swap saying, dude, save Jessica. If you save Jessica, I'll save you later.
No, I don't see
I don't see that either.
And I don't think he ever saw that. Thank you for getting that. Because he obviously, for those who didn't, he obviously did not see that episode or that show. So he says, I think I have a shot with her. She says, I don't just give away kisses. I'm like a slug when it comes to love. A love slug.
Oh, that was a disgusting hashtag.
A love slug. That's just weird.
Yeah.
And then she kisses him on the cheek. Okay, enough of that. Hustlers. Let's go, what were we on day 7? So let's go to day 8. Yes. We get a little bit of hustlers and healers on day 8. Because heroes just aren't, hero-y enough, apparently.
They're solid. They're good. They're like a train just rolling along.
Again, who do we open on? The narrator, the storyteller, who's not on my tribe. Ryan. We open on Ryan. He watches Patrick go off, and then Ryan gets to do the narrative again. Ryan isn't going anywhere soon.
No.
He's not going anywhere soon. Absolutely not. And Devin isn't going anywhere soon because he's with Ryan.
If he gets split, he could. Because see, this is what's neat about this point of the game. In the Hustlers had to make a decision who benefits them going forward if we swap. Pretty soon, these swap tribes are going to have to go, who benefits me going forward if we merge? So they're going to have to start cutting heads, about who they keep and who they don't keep. If Devin's on a tribe with no other Hustlers and they think a merge is coming, he could be the one that gets booted because they don't want that guy playing in challenges once he gets to the merge.
Right.
But I agree. I think Devin's safe as long as Ryan's around, or as long as Devin's might just carry his whole new tribe next week and win. Ryan does the whole 101 Survivor. You don't search for an idol in front of everyone. And it's funny because Patrick knows that hunting for an idol can come back to bite you. So the confessional producer says, so why are you hunting in front of people? I'm not. I guess the camp is right there, isn't it?
Well, he said he doesn't even care.
I know.
Yeah.
But he says, I know it can come back to bite me, but yeah.
Big deal. This is who I am. And I move things. So that makes me good at Survivor.
Yeah, I throw trees against trees. I love what he said. I work harder than anybody on my tribe to look for an idol.
Yes, that's what he said. Yes.
No, you work less hard because they're working harder to do it when you're not looking.
That's probably true.
So By the way, that's what he doesn't get.
Patty wrote something. I didn't read the whole thing in the chat room, but it made me think, and just maybe, So Cole and Joe both know where the other idols are on the other tribes' beaches, on the other tribe beaches, right?
If it's exactly the same, they at least know how to find the clue,
right,
to the idol. Whether it's all at the well, who knows? It could be.
I wouldn't go looking for the clue. First thing I would do as soon as I had a chance is I would here's what I would do. I would go to the water hole with somebody, and just as we were walking off, I go, I'm going to go back here. I need to go to the bathroom. Y'all go ahead. Right? They all go ahead. I dig a hole 5 feet 5 feet towards the ocean, and I get my idol. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what I would do. And then I, go do what I said, so I wouldn't be lying.
Yep.
But Cole and Joe, so if they're on different tribes, they're each going to get another idol, probably. Or get an idol.
That's true.
Probably. All right. So Allie talks to him about a social game. That's interesting. This is the second person Allie has talked to who got voted off. Allie. Don't ever talk to me.
She's the last counselor before they leave.
The final counsel with Allie.
Yeah, well, she says he has no social game and tells him you need to cool the idol hunting because you're making people nervous. And he feels like, well, this is what we just talked about. If I'm not being myself, I can't make relationships.
Yeah.
Who have you made relationships with?
Yeah. The only reason why I'm your friend is because I knew you beforehand. And we're not allowed to say that.
And reading some of his exit things, I think he took that relationship for granted to keep him in the game.
Yeah.
He was really counting on that.
Was he as ticked now as he was then?
Oh, yeah. He still ticked at Ryan
Really?
and Allie. I mean, he probably not as he was that night, but he's like, yeah, it was pretty devastating. It was tough.
Oh, yeah, that was obvious.
So
do you think next episode, if we get a scene of Allie talking to someone to help them with their game, that person is probably going home?
That could be a trend. You're right. That could be what you need to watch out for.
Of course, she's the one voting them out. So
yes,
it's not like she's particularly the omen. It's just if Allie comes and talks to you, she's voting for you. So don't let her talk to you.
So wasn't there a movie with George Clooney where he used to fly out to different parts of the country to talk to employees of their company, and if he showed up, we're losing your job.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah, I was watching I don't remember which team it was, but it was a professional football team, an NFL team. It was like a whole series on their training camp, and it was the last cut. And the guy goes, they know if they get a call from me, it's bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Allie, if I pick up my phone and it's Allie texting me, I am no longer on this show, David.
So Ryan and Devin and Lauren are telling their new tribe mates, don't go off on a walk with Allie.
Don't do it.
Don't be alone with Allie.
That's right. All right, let's get to Healers Day 8.
Oh, let's get to some more bad Survivor gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, let's get. Oh yeah, because okay. So, wow, that was just such amazing use of the English language just then. I was so eloquent. I don't know if you noticed it.
What'd you say?
Rourke and Desi and perhaps Jessica were cooking potatoes. Mm-hmm. And Joe is complaining about them being quote unquote raw. What's wrong with raw potatoes? I mean, they don't taste great, but you don't throw them in the wood. You stick them back on the fire.
What is he going to get, a bag of chips instead?
I know.
Do it in the woods.
But that's what's stupid. There's simple. You're complaining, and you're dissing the people who are cooking it, and you're throwing it out in the woods instead of letting someone else have it.
That's just arrogance and overconfidence. I think I couldn't believe we were seeing that. And, didn't have no salt, didn't have enough grease in there, or
he wanted the kettle brand.
Hey, look, see the bite in this chip? I'm putting this back in the pot away from the other chips, but that's my chip when it cooks again. I just wanted to cook a little longer. But you know what? Thank you, Dwaine, for taking the time to do all this cooking. I'm going to put this one back in because I took it out too soon.
Yes.
But thank you for spending so much time down here doing all this cooking. I really appreciate this. I want to help you next time.
I don't even think I say that. I think you're on the right track, but I don't think I bring any attention to me not liking what they did. I don't even say, hey, do you mind if I cook this a little bit longer for myself? I just eat it.
Oh, yeah. I would eat whatever's put in front of me. If they took it out and gave it to me, it'd be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if I
took it out, yes.
If I took it out, right. I took this out too soon. Let me put it back because I'm starving.
If they say, here's the potatoes.
We each get 6. I took out 1.
Yeah.
And it was too early.
Yeah. Take them out as you wish. And then they takes it out too early. But no, I mean, just how rude. That is someone who is overconfident, just as you said, and has a terrible social game. You know? So.
What did they say? I wrote down Desi doesn't take too kindly to his actions.
No.
You need to learn to eat raw food, buddy. Cole says Joe complains a lot around camp because Joe has all the power right now.
Yeah, and more than Cole said that. Desi said it later. So he apparently – they made a point. CBS made a point to show us today that he's a complainer.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That was the point. That was the whole thing of the Hero Tribe. The Healers, there's nothing else to show.
Mm-mm. Well, we did see Mike walking away. Yeah. We did see that once.
Go find the idol he supposedly has but doesn't have that's already been found.
He's looking for a secret, never-before-found drug for his for his practice.
Some rare plants.
Yeah, some rare plants he can mix together.
So, Dwaine, now that we've seen the true side of Joe, and now that me as Cole know why Joe is so arrogant, I think now's a good time to bring in the rest of the tribe or whoever's there and let them in on some of the most important intel I've gained in the 8 days we've been out there.
David, I think that's a mistake. You should not do that, and you should consult me first.
But we're going to build trust. Look at the trust I got with you when I told you on the beach before you kissed my cheek. Look at the trust that we now have, and now think about the trust we're going to get with these 2 other people that have never gone fishing with us, who are up here probably talking about us while we're down there fishing. But think about the trust we're going to get with them now.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and talk about why this was very stupid of Cole to do? Or, I'm sorry, it was not a good game move.
Jessica is completely right. She's absolutely right that this was too soon. I mean, it's okay to talk about, hey, have you guys thought about if we go to tribal? It's not okay to talk about, let me tell you something really important, just in case we mix up into other tribes and you need the information for yourself later.
Right.
Really?
Which isn't what he said, but
I want to help you later in another tribe because we're probably not going to be together again.
Right. Well, I mean, so he and Jessica had a secret. It was a good secret. Desi and Mike didn't need to know it yet. Although, notice even they don't tell Mike. No one's with Mike. Mike's out there in the woods by himself for a reason, apparently. But, number one, you talk to your alliance mate. You know, he doesn't even see Jessica as his alliance. He just sees her as, I wonder if I could date her when this is all over.
Yeah.
Right? So he doesn't even consult with her. And then, don't do this before the challenge. This is stuff you got for after the challenge, just like you said.
Yeah, and when did this come out? While they're on the beach and she's talking about being voted out and he says, you're safe. And I'll tell you why, because I have some information. So this was might have been a play to win her favor, so to speak. You solidify with that one. The one you've obviously been spending days with that you're very close to.
Well, yeah.
But now no challenge has been made. Just talk about people in general. We don't know how much Cole and Jessica have talked to Rourke and Desi. They have the great response when they say, I love the thought process. Oh, and by the way, thank you for sharing with me that very important information, whether we go to travel or not. But I love the thought process. Not, do we want to do it so soon? No, I love it. I love your thought process right now.
Right.
Excuse me, I got to go talk to Joe for a minute.
Now, to Cole's benefit, I think he lucked out. I think Desi and Rourke were in on that and loved the idea personally, because I do think Joe annoys them and Joe complains a lot. And Cole's certainly just as athletic as Joe is. So why not keep the nice guy that goes in fishing rather than keeping the guy that complains and is arrogant and annoying, apparently. So I think they bought right into it. I just think he got lucky that they bought right into it.
I feel the same way, because it wasn't necessary at this point, but I think they were maybe ripe for the time. Yeah. I'd like to know how much more conversation they've had.
Yeah, probably
which we talked about at the very beginning of the show. We just don't hear the rest of that conversation.
Right.
But Joe put himself out there by being so rude at the food.
Yeah.
And apparently Mike doesn't do raw potatoes very well either. That's why he's out in the woods so much.
Oh. Nice one, David. Well, another thing that this brought up is, guess what? Joe's been lying to us.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Desi comes up. Jessica.
So did Cole stick his face out to get a kiss on the cheek from those two as well, or did he think that was going to happen from sharing the information?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. He only has eyes for Jessica.
Jessica wouldn't have liked that either.
No,
she didn't like what he did. She definitely wouldn't have liked that.
Jessica would have been like, I don't let these lips loose for just anybody. Jessica said he lost. Okay, they inserted with me. You could obviously hear it was an edit. She said he lost a lot of power in the game, but they added with me in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I really think she probably said he lost a lot of power in the game, or a lot of power that he had, or something. You know, they're constantly making a sentence out of what people say, which would annoy me if I had played the game. But she said with me. I don't even understand that. What is CBS trying to tell us? He lost a lot of power with me. Does that mean that she doesn't like their quote unquote alliance as much anymore? Because I don't think it's what she meant. So what was CBS trying to tell us?
I think they were trying to say there could be trouble in paradise, which I don't think there is.
No.
But she said Joe might find out and it could put us on the chopping block.
True. Which
makes me wonder how much they've talked to Rourke and Desi. You know, do they actually know? I mean, we've been at the beach so much, we really don't know what these other four are talking about. So he really stuck his neck out there by sharing that information. But yeah, it sounds like what they tried to get her to say was that he lost power with her. He may have lost credit with her.
Well, you know, and to your point that they're on the beach all the time and they're up there all the time, as Jessica's told us, as David has told us, as all the survivors we've ever talked to have told us, they show you 10 minutes of 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Jessica and Cole could be up on the beach with them all the time. You know? I mean, we don't know. In fact, I would bet that they're not out there fishing 18 hours a day. You know?
Right. That was my question, is I don't think it's going to come back to bite them, because we're not getting what you said. We're not getting the people on the beach going, they are down there all the time.
Exactly.
And they're so tight.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
We see what they want us to see.
I'm actually enjoying talking about it more than I enjoyed the episode. I love podcasting more than I love the show. No. All right, let's get to this. I think A+. Okay, I have to give it an A because there are other A pluses out there, maybe a A-. An amazing immunity/reward challenge. I really liked it. And I'm going to go ahead and take a chance and let you say why you liked it. Because I think it may be the same reason why I liked it. Because you always talk about this kind of stuff. If you don't have it, then I got it.
Well, I wasn't ready. I wasn't even thinking about why I liked it. I actually got a picture now. So it's up and over, and then it's throwing that they could have easily shared, and then it's building. I love how the last item, the last segment, which is usually the equalizer, was placed on everybody's shoulders. Yeah. I love how the stacking was the whole tribal thing.
But David, the entire challenge was everybody. Yeah, only one person's throwing.
Right.
But boom, 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 boom. You rotate people out. That's still everybody. Because just because you're throwing doesn't mean it's all on you unless you refuse to listen to anybody.
No, you're right. You're right. It was an all team tribe challenge.
This was absolutely there wasn't even a great equalizer to me. It was all good.
Yeah.
I loved it. So it's an all-team challenge. It doesn't depend on one person unless you're the Hustler Tribe. And now I wonder, on the throwing part, if you could do a relay system. Picture this, okay? Jessica's throwing. While Jessica's throwing, Cole is picking up the next one. Cole's throwing. And while Cole's throwing, Desi's picking up a bag. And while Desi's throwing, Rourke is picking up a bag. And while Rourke is throwing, you see what I'm getting at?
I do, but I don't think you can pick up a bag unless you're standing on the board. And you can't stand on the board. You can only be out there by yourself.
Okay. Well, maybe it wouldn't work. Because it'd still be quicker as soon as I throw to jump off and you grab the bag and throw. Jump off, grab the bag and throw. Jump off, grab the bag and throw. That would be quicker than me throwing, turning around, me throwing, turning around and grabbing the bag and turning back around and then getting up and throwing.
But me throwing and getting out of the way for you would not be advantageous as me taking an extra second to turn because your throwing is not my throwing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I know what it is. It would take me longer.
I'm not giving an example. I'm saying your throwing is not my throwing.
Yeah.
So.
It would take me longer to get around. You know what I mean? Because I have more to move around, which is going to change very soon. Good. This is no longer going to be this. It's going to be better. It's going to look more like my actual picture, which I can't seem to point to. Where is it? There. It's going to look a lot more like that, only with better glasses. All right. They're playing for chickens and eggs. One of these days, they got to get a pig out there so we can play for bacon and eggs. Wow, way to ruin a joke.
But at least
why is it okay to kill a chicken, but you can't kill a pig? Or
sorry, your audio is coming in and out, so I don't want to step on your lines.
That's okay. Go ahead.
At least we got an answer though to what came first. First place got the chicken.
Yes.
Second place got the egg.
Yeah, from the chickens. But yeah, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Nice, David. Nice. All right. I do have advice for the first part of the challenge. Sorry to go back. People, do not pull up somebody by their trunks, by their underwear. It's called a power wedgie for a reason. I mean, talk about painful.
Whatever gets you over the wall.
I don't know. That could be dangerous. Enough said. So they kept, obviously that we kept hearing, you want to swap out, Patrick? You want to swap out? You want to swap out? I wish we would have heard Lauren say, I'm an excellent thrower from outfield. Hello. But they didn't let us hear that. But I think she told Allie. I think she said she had told Allie. Yeah. Okay, she didn't do it beforehand?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Oh, I don't even think he talked to them. If I remember, I don't even think he said no or I've got it. I think he just totally ignored them.
It was one of those things where he wouldn't leave the board. And if he doesn't leave the board, nobody else can go out there.
Yeah, I'm not leaving. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, another thing I wrote is once I got the tower up, I would, okay, y'all, we got enough of a lead. Let's slowly move around the tower and get to our mat. Because Cole almost tripped on that yellow square and fell into the tower. That would have been bad.
That would have been very bad. I saw that too. It kind of lifted up when he ran around it.
Yeah. So, anyway. Miriam's like, Patrick, let's see. Patrick was doing okay. He kept up, but that wasn't the point. The point wasn't that he was doing okay. The point was that everybody else wanted to get in there, and he wouldn't even acknowledge them. It's very bad social game.
But I say it was also the point that every time he hit the wall, they were putting another block on the block.
Yeah.
Because for a while there, he couldn't get it high enough to even get to the top of that setup. He couldn't even get it that high, and they were like, "You're tired. You're tired."
Yeah.
He wouldn't hear it.
And I've already talked about how Probst diminished heroes win by saying only because the healers made a mistake, you got first place.
Yep.
That's like when you win a game because the kicker missed. You really didn't earn that game. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's like an overtime where the first team gets a field goal, the second team goes down, and then they miss. And they should have made it.
Yeah. All right. Hustlers back at camp because they're going to tribal council where someone will be voted off and will be the third person voted off tribal council. Oh, wait. I think I might have an answer. Okay. This is from Jessica Lewis. I asked, what, am I still video?
No,
bad?
I don't think it's you. I think it's me. I don't think it's your end.
All right. I said, does the entire tribe ever sit around and talk about, quote, what if we have a swap tomorrow? And Jessica says, all the friggin' time. We were constantly discussing what direction the game might head in. Thank you, Jessica. I'm sure you're listening. She might be. I know she listens every once in a while.
Even in 4-day games up in Maine, people sit around fire and talk about what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm typing to Jessica. Feel free to go on to the Hustlers back at camp.
So the Hustlers go back to camp, and Lauren gets the outro exit about Patrick's got to go. Not a team player. For the first of many times, she says, if we're going to lose, we need to lose as a team. We win as a team.
Right. Which a fisherman like she is, or a fisherwoman, a fisher, would say that because they're not by themselves on that crab boat. I know because I watch Discovery Channel. I don't even think you heard any of that.
I heard Discovery Channel, yeah. But I actually thought I heard that she did work by herself on the boat.
Oh, did she? Okay. Well, there you go.
I don't know if I heard that right or not. But
all right.
For this last part, day 9 on the Hustler's Beach, I didn't really write. All I wrote was notes about what I thought about the scenes. I didn't even write a whole lot of detail because it was really the editing attempt to make us think it was Lauren, make us think it was Patrick, make us think it was Lauren, and back and forth. I just wrote same thing I said before. Patrick is not good at this game. I don't care what we missed in the edit or what we think we saw. He just doesn't have the game for this game. And that Lauren's life experience, as much as the number of her age may label her as the old woman on the tribe, she at least has empathy of those around her and knows how to get along in groups.
Yeah. Absolutely. And by the way, Miriam confirms what you said, that Lauren does work alone on her boat.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does that based on what I've seen on Discovery Channel.
Well, I think she's in a smaller boat.
Well, obviously. We're going to need a bigger boat, though.
Yeah, for that fish. I wrote, Patrick is about Patrick.
Oh,
his middle of the night wake-up calls, his antics around camp, especially in front of the camera, which he said in an excellent interview was Simone just being Simone, that he didn't really do it for the cameras. But his inability to not speak versus say the wrong words, and worst of all, his dismissal of his tribe mates when they begged him to step out and he let someone else finish.
Yeah. And I agree with everything you're saying. And also the decision to go down and make things good with Lauren. Why?
Yeah.
Why in the world would you even do that? It's like, she doesn't need you. She doesn't even like you. I mean, that's crazy.
Of all people.
I mean, I'm going to go comfort the woman who hates my guts. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Oh, man.
I thought about Wiggler's game of Two Truths and a Lie as he was walking out there. Somebody should have shouted, be ready to tell a lie because she's going to ask you who you're voting for.
That's right.
Because it's obviously each other, and he needed a lie, and he couldn't even do that. You can't even come up with a lie. Of course, she's not going to trust this written.
Yeah. Your video just froze on me, so I don't know what you said. I apologize. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and carry on because David's video is frozen. I don't even know if he can hear me. So, but anyway, I'm wondering if the 4 in the shelter were just making Patrick feel safe. If they already knew Patrick was the one going home, and they were just making him feel safe. I mean, it makes sense. It could be either way, but I really think they had pretty much made their decision already.
I do too.
So,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I put Patrick and Lauren in the water was pathetic. And and what's funny is he goes up and says, I feel terrible. And I thought, no, you don't, because you just heard she was going home. You don't feel terrible.
Yeah.
That's him trying to empathize. That didn't work. And she says, y'all are going for me. And he goes, I don't think that's right. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to talk about who we're voting out. I thought I was just coming in here to make you feel happy before we voted you out.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. Well, I don't really know that there's a whole lot. Except, you know what, David? I don't want you to take offense, but you're the oddball. But don't be offended by it. Just, own it. You're the oddball.
I guess I am with this duo. Lauren worked really hard to make sure everybody knew that Patrick needed to go. He just did, because we're going to be next. So I'm the old woman. I'm the old man. You're the oddball.
This is kind of hard to do whenever you can't hear what I'm saying and I can't hear what you're saying. It's kind of hard to be host and host, isn't it? Yes. Oh, it wasn't me all along. It was David. Unless he clicked himself out on purpose. So David just left. So I'm going to tell you what I wrote about the oddball thing, and I'll just tell David later. All right. So Lauren tells Ryan, I'm the old lady. You're the oddball, which Ryan handled it great later on. But still, my thought is, sorry, but Ryan has not shown himself to be the oddball. All right? Because the oddballs, they don't hang around camp with everyone. They're usually off by themselves. Oddballs don't get along with everybody. Oddballs do not enjoy the acceptance of their peers. Oddballs do not have a super great alliance with one of the, surfer dudes. I mean, even calling him an oddball wasn't true because he's not an oddball. He fit right in. So, and I also love that Ryan thought it was funny later on whenever he's talking to Devin, that he thought it was kind of funny. So, which also showed me, David, I was just talking about Lauren calls him an oddball, but he's really not. And then I gave all the reasons why he isn't. So,
yeah.
Devin and Ryan are obviously locked in. I think Devin and Ryan controlled the vote. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, check it out. I told Jessica, thank you. We just mentioned you on the air. And she goes, I heard. There you go. Anyway. Oh, I didn't get to listen to why Simone lost. I didn't get to do that this week. Sorry, Jessica.
I got to listen to most of it.
Did you?
It's very good because it's relaxed. I told her, I said, you guys have a very casual, relaxed repertoire between the two of you. And I enjoy listening to two people talk versus, a two professional podcast. I'm not saying theirs is a professional, just saying that it's very relaxed and easy to listen to.
Yeah, that would be the kettle calling the pot black or whatever it is. Us telling someone they're not professional.
So getting towards the end here, do you have anything specific for tribal? Because I don't really have any notes for tribal.
Well, I'm not there yet. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like Devin and Ryan controlled the vote? And here's why I feel like they did. Because Allie's she's not with Devin. If she is with Devin, Devin and Ryan are one vote, right? Mm-hmm. Allie could be one vote with Patrick. She could be with Lauren. So see, she doesn't really have that. So Devin and Ryan controlled the vote because we know where Lauren's voting and we know where Patrick's voting. The only person we don't know is Allie. So whoever Devin and Ryan decide, that's who's going home.
Right.
In that case,
they could decide to vote with Patrick or they can decide to vote with Lauren. So it didn't matter for Allie.
Yeah. Well. For those of you in the chat room that are saying you can't hear me on the video, you won't be able to hear me say this, but it'll be on the audio podcast because I'm recording myself directly and David directly. So anyway, they're one vote. Okay, that's all I had to say before Tribal. And yeah, there's quite a few funny things to say about Tribal Council.
Okay, go ahead.
You have to stop not writing notes in Tribal Council. This is a bad thing.
Well,
David.
I mean, it wasn't a whole lot to it. To me, this episode, I was ready to get to next week. This episode just got me excited for next week.
Everybody's going to start writing in, why does David not care about tribals? Because every week you say, there wasn't much about tribal because I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't even take any notes. Take some notes.
No, I didn't know. I wasn't sure what was going to happen at tribal. I was very surprised. Not very surprised. I was pleasantly surprised at tribal. But I do want to talk about it when you get there, so let's get there.
Well, we're there. My first thing I wrote was, I'm pretty sure Lauren went in confident or she wouldn't have talked as much as she did. And then I realized, of course, Patrick did also. My favorite line, hold on. One of my favorite lines is Lauren saying, I totally understand that, son. I loved it.
Oh, I know. She called him son. That was great.
And it wasn't even like trying to be condescending or anything. It was just part of her conversation. I totally understand that, son. But it also, she feels that way, you know? You're just a kid. I understand that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to some of your stuff.
Some of my stuff? The stuff I said I didn't take notes for?
Oh, well, you said you had stuff to say.
No, I wanted to talk about the decision to who to vote out.
Oh, okay.
I agreed with, well, I got to thinking about it. My thought is that they're thinking of the next round as to what's going to happen in the next round. And do you want Patrick, who you can't really rely on, who's all over the place, who didn't cooperate, didn't work with you in the challenge, or do you want somebody that's more loyal? Even Devin calls Lauren loyal.
Right.
You know where she is and this, that, and the other. But I had more time to read today because I watched it last night twice. And Fishback in his little article gave Lauren the fishy for constantly keeping Patrick's faults out in the open. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he thinks they should have kept Patrick because if they do swap coming up, then Patrick will stand out as more of a target, no matter what tribe he's on. And Lauren could actually go over and start working with like Chrissy, you know, people or Mike, older folks from a different tribe.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point that he made. So I'm really, I could care less which one's right. I'm looking forward to seeing who's right.
Yeah.
You know, that should be an interesting thing to follow.
I like it when you have time to go listen to Fishback or go read Fishback or some of the other ones out there. I like it when you have time to do that. So,
that was good. I mean, I saw one or two of Ryan's, gosh, I'm so glad he's gone now so I can only call one name. But Patrick's exit interview, he even mentions that he should have done more strategy talk with Allie. I really felt like he relied too much on his relationship with Allie to keep him in the game. So what was going to happen at this swap if he got separated from Allie?
Yeah. I don't know. He probably would have told people, yeah, we went to college together. We used to hang out.
Well, they probably look at him and say, how's this guy still here? Why didn't they vote him out?
Lauren made another good point. Patrick is not a team player. He's a good idol hunter. She said, this is great. She said, I haven't looked for the idol yet. And Patrick looks so relieved. Gosh. Patrick looks so relieved. And then she says, I have two of them. She looks over at Allie and they both laugh. She just she was so quick at it. By the way, you need to put your lower third up again. She was so quick about it too. I mean, it was just kind of like, I actually have two of them, Patrick, son. Anyway, I thought it was great.
That's so good that he can't tell a lie and he can't pick up on a lie.
Yeah.
So,
so Lauren hasn't believed a redhead in her life, and Patrick, just looking at Lauren, doesn't think she can throw. So both of them, that's, you know, what's it called whenever you have
judging a book by its cover?
Well, yeah, and then both people had offsetting penalties. Offsetting penalties. I love this. Ryan gets another great one. Thank you, Ryan. Probst says, Ryan, it's kind of like you're in a relationship. And he interrupts Probst to tell him, I've never been in a relationship.
That was good.
That was really good.
That's
excuse me, David.
If I'd have known you were coughing, I would have kept going. That's the part where you're funny at camp, where Ryan is funny at camp, and Patrick's not that type of funny. I think Ryan is very smart about when he's funny, when he makes his puns, when he makes his comments, whereas Patrick just runs up and says, everybody get up from your comfortable position. Come look at this rock that's actually an octopus.
Right.
Get over here because you're making me mad.
Or
Ryan wouldn't do that.
Or everybody wake up, it's not morning, sorry.
Exactly.
Do you ever have that, like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you think, okay, surely it's like 6 o'clock, almost time to get up. And you look at the clock and it says like 1:40. You're like, okay,
I've had that several times.
There is no way I'm going to be able to sleep for another 5 hours and 20 minutes. Anyway, this is again, and I don't know if Ryan will be able to tell me why. I don't know why he would, but I'm going to reach out and just ask, did he mean swap? Did he mean merge? You know, I'm just wondering, or was he really thinking that far? You know, and if he is, then it's kind of like the Hustler tribe will be together all the way up to the merge. So maybe he's thinking they're not going to swap. Maybe he's thinking they're going to be a little twist this year that there won't be a swap.
Maybe he said both, and the editing only showed us merge, so we wouldn't think about the swap that would be coming.
Well, I don't know, because Probst said it back to him. I mean, although Probst is just going to respond to whatever you say. So,
right.
Anyway, I'm just interested, and I don't know if we're going to find that out until after he wins, or whoever wins. It'd just be horrible to say until after he's out of the game, because then, it's like, what, you assume he's not going to win? So anyway.
Very true.
I liked his tricycle analogy. He had a good one. Last couple of weeks, he'd struggled with those. He did a good tricycle one. All right, I'm going to attempt a comparison like Ryan does. All right? So I will need your undivided attention for this analogy comparison. Patrick saying, I'm growing from this, so keep me, is like your child just before you administer your discipline saying, I've learned my lesson, Dad. Come on, I don't need to be disciplined. Sorry, bud, it's too late. Since you now have learned, you won't make the same mistake again. You're still getting the discipline. So sorry, Patrick. You did it, and you're still getting the results of it, even if you did learn from it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah. And Patrick was ticked off.
It's good, but it's not good, but it's good because he got mad at him for doing what you have to do in the game, which he didn't understand.
Yeah. Do you have anything else about Tribal or who got voted off or anything like that?
Nope. Good go.
One of the fun things that happened in our Facebook group is during the show, survivortalkwithdnd.com/Facebook. During the show, we have a thread, so people are just constantly talking in that thread. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group, become a member of our Facebook group. We are almost at 1,000, David. We're at 970 or something like that. And subscribers to YouTube. We're almost close there, too.
Everybody sit back. It's time for feedback. Our listeners have to say what's on their minds today. D&D will hear you. D&D will read you. D&D will take the time to take your lines, analyze, and feel you. It's feedback. Survivor Talk with D&D. Take and listen to feedback, y'all. That's right.
There you go. So, David's having trouble hearing me. So occasionally he will come in and say stuff, and occasionally he won't, which also makes me concerned because we have several audio feedback. David, feel free to, if you can hear me, shut down your computer or do something like that if you need to. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not getting any glitches on my end, so I'm not really sure what's going on. All right. First, we have Wendy from South Dakota. Wendy from South Dakota.
Hey, Dwaine and David. This is Wendy from South Dakota. I suppose I should address last week's feedback from me. I forgot that this was the podcast that's super in love with Tony and that you're not allowed to say anything negative about him. Whoopsie. On to other things. I was sad that the Healers didn't lose. I would have loved to see Joe blindsided, especially after he started complaining about the food. When you have so little food, who cares if your potato is a little bit raw? I just found it ridiculous that he would complain about that. I'm still not a fan of his. After they had told everybody that he has the idol, I was thinking, wow, I hope they're going to be able to keep that under their hats, because nobody can keep a secret in Survivor. But I guess it's not going to matter now because the tribes are going to get switched up next week. Okay, on to the Hustlers. So I'm watching, and Pat says, quote unquote, by looking at her, I don't think that her coming in for me would have changed much. And I was so offended. Like that he's judging her just by her looks. I've played softball and watched softball for many, many, many years, and you cannot judge by what people look like. I've seen a little tiny girl that weighs probably 100 pounds soaking wet hit the ball darn near to the fence. And I've seen great big huge hulking guys hardly be able to hit the ball at all. It doesn't have anything to do with what you look like. And I hate it when people judge people just by what they look like. So I was so surprised just a little bit later when Lauren says that I've never trusted a redhead a day in my life. So she's just as guilty as he is. And wow, I mean, really? You're going to judge someone just on the color of their hair? It's so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. It turned out that it was a good idea to vote Patrick off because of the switch up. They're not going to lose anything by not having his strength for trying to win the next challenge. So I guess it was a really good time to vote him off. That's really all I have. I was surprised at how upset Patrick was in his afterwards or whatever they call that. He was really upset. Allie told him numerous times, you gotta slow your roll. You have to stop being so annoying. You need to calm down. And, he chose not to. He even said, Allie told me that I have to tone it down, and that's my personality. It's who I am. And you know what? That's fine. But it also got you voted out of the game, which is unfortunate because he seems like a nice-ish kind of guy other than judging people. Anyway. Yeah. It is what it is. Still enjoying the season. Still love Allie. Still rooting for her. I'm curious to see who ends up on whose tribe next week and how that all shakes out. That's always exciting to see, and see if someone's got to try to work their way out of a hole, especially someone who previously was in a good spot and then they get stuck on a tribe with no one they know. I like the shake-offs because they're exciting to watch, but I always feel bad for the people that are just victims of the shake-up. I mean, it's so unfair, but they say that this game is more luck than skill sometimes, so it's exciting to watch. Anyway, y'all take care. Bye.
I'm going to get to her PS in just a second, but the whole how will I can't even talk. How will the swap affect people? I think it's going to help Mike.
Think it's going to help Mike?
Yeah. Oh, don't lean into your...
Sorry.
Do you think it's going to help Mike? Yeah, we don't want to do that. All right, here's her PS.
Okay, I have a PS for my feedback. I was re-listening to my feedback, and I said that it doesn't matter now that everybody knows that Joe has the idol, and I am totally wrong on that. Joe's in big trouble because now everybody on his former tribe knows that he has an idol. So that's just bad news for him, to everybody to have that information. Anyway, wanted to correct myself before one of you two did. Talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, yeah. You know it. We would have corrected her, of course.
In a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. You know it. So, all right. Let me plug my iPad back in. Thank you, Wendy. Great feedback as usual. Nice to have you back doing feedback. It's been a while. And so it's good to have you back. Next, we have Mirai M, who is in our chat room right now, from Everett, Washington.
Hey, Dwaine and David, and D&D patrons, fans, listeners, friends. This is Mirai M, also known as Vader Girl, calling in to give some feedback from Everett, Washington. Last night was a great episode. I'm still loving Survivor. I'm pretty bummed out that Patrick went. I thought he was so funny, and I had him on my fantasy teams. And so I guess I lost points. I didn't appreciate the ginger discrimination that Lauren said, though she seems like she might also be a ginger. I don't know. Again, I think Ryan is doing really, really well. I'm all about Ryan. He's seems to be very, very smart, and his social game seems to be excellent. I love Ryan. I think Joe is really funny, the Tony Vlachos guy. I thought it was interesting that he threw the food out. I really like JP. I kind of wish I would have drafted him and Alan. For some reason, I drafted like every single male besides JP and Alan. And then I drafted 3 females when I think all 3 of them are gone. No, Ashley. I still have Ashley, and I like her. And, I like all the teams. I'm looking forward to the mix-up. I think it's going to be great. I'm just cheering for Ryan. And Ryan. What else can I say? Winner, chicken dinner. I still think he's getting a winner's edit. That's my opinion. I always say that about my winner pick, but I'm loving Ryan. May the force be with you. Eat lots of kale. Avoid sugar. Black cats forever. And very excited about the Stranger Things D&D show, so I'm glad you guys are doing that, and I'd love to be a guest sometime. Take care, guys. Bye.
Well, I wonder if she has listened, because we're done with that one. We're not doing a weekly Stranger Things, because we're doing a weekly. Well, we've been doing weekly anyway, because everybody's gonna watch it in one night. Yeah. We're not gonna have a 9-hour podcast episode about it. Oh, I wonder, Miriam, have you listened to Rewind Fast Forward with D&D Stranger Things? Have you already listened to that one? All right. Here we go. Our first time. Is this first time Kieran's ever sent us feedback?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Here we got Kieran from Maryland.
Hey, Dwaine and David. It's Kieran from Maryland. This is the first time I'm giving a recording. I'm going to give my thoughts on the remaining 15 players' chances of winning. First, I'll start with the winner contenders. Allie's running the show on that Hustlers tribe. Everyone thinks she's in her back pocket. She's doing a fantastic job. Chrissy, both she and Ben are in control of that Heroes tribe. And she appears to be the ringleader. Ryan. He's second in command on the Hustlers tribe and easily the most likable contestant of the season. However, he's probably going to get the David Wright experience and go out the Final Four. That sucks. Ben, he's still getting positive content, and he appears to be liked by everyone. Now I'm going to talk about the people who are still hanging on. Ashley, Ben wants to work with her, so it appears that she's no longer on the outs. Jess, she showed some strategic content, and the others don't really know about her possible showmance with Cole. Cole, he exposed Joe's idol and led the charge to get him out. However, his decision to expose the idol to Rourke was probably a bad idea because it did turn Jess off. Devin, he's not on anyone's radar, and no one knows about his secret alliance with Ryan. Now I'm going to talk about the people who are just out of the running. Rourke, we still have no sign who she's aligned with. That's not a good sign. Mike, like Rourke, we don't know who he's aligned with. Plus, he's got another episode without a confessional, and he's the outsider. Nope, he's done. Desi, very low screen time and no idea who she's with. I can see her going next or sometime before the jury. JP, more negative content, and he's portrayed as a buffoon. He's also on the outs. Yeah, he's done. Alan, he's on the outs and still perceived as a lunatic. I wrote him off at sometime during episode 1. He's screwed. Lauren, she's not gelling with anyone. She's going to go out soon. Definitely before the jury. Joe, his idol and attitude are making him a target. Yeah, the swap is coming, but if he's on a tribe with Cole or Jess, specifically Cole, then he's in big trouble. I don't see him lasting any longer. Well, that's my take on the rest of the players. In my opinion, Ali is the top contender to win, but Chrissy is not too far behind. Well, I enjoyed doing this. I love your show and hope you read my feedback. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Kieran. First time, and you did a great job. Thank you so much. Very well thought out. You had it all lined up just right. I still think Mike, he's definitely on the outs. The reason why you don't see who he is, with whom he is talking is because I don't think he's talking to anybody. I think there's no alliance there. So that's why I think the swap is going to do him some good. All right, next we have Will, the giant ninja from Wonder Lake. By the way, Will, I tried to find a sound for at the end when you go, Will. the Giant Ninja, but they cost like $1 a piece, so I didn't do it. Sorry. All right, here we go. Will the Giant Ninja.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. Well, as you can hear from my voice, it has been a raucous few days, quite a bit of screaming during the Cubs games, and as a result, my voice is gone, pretty scratchy. I will not be listening tonight. I will be watching my Cubs in what I absolutely hope is not the last game of the season, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mike in Cleveland, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I was pulling for your boys. I really was. But I think I have 2 or 3 minutes left before the feedback is due, so we'll see if I can get it in under the gun and let you know some quick thoughts about episode 3 of season 35 of the greatest show in the history of television. Number 1, the Healer's Tribe. Cole, what are you doing, my man? You're killing me. First, you helped Joe find the idol, which was just so dumb. Then, when I think you're finally playing the game right, you tell Cindy or Chrissy or Julie or whatever her name is on the Heroes Tribe that Joe has the idol, and you're making inroads with her, and I like that. I like trying to form a twosome within your small tribe, but then you blow that up by sharing your information with everybody and telling Rourke and Desi, what are you doing? You're ruining what you had with Chrissy or Julie or Deborah or, oh man, I don't know. I can't. The healer that's a nurse. You're ruining what you had. It's too early in the season. I can't tell people apart yet. Bad move, Cole. No upside. Number 2, the Heroes Tribe. Chrissy. That's Chrissy. I don't know who the other one was. Chrissy forming up with Cowboy Ben. I love it. I love that you are taking control of that tribe. If you have an opportunity to vote someone out of your group of 5, which I know you won't based on the next time on Survivor, but if you did, the person to get rid of would be either Ashley or JP, because as things stand, you do not want to be up in a 2v2 situation. You don't want to get rid of Alan and leave you and Ben against JP and Ashley. It's not going to come into play, but you need to be thinking 2 steps ahead. That's the upside move. Finally, number 3, the Hustlers Tribe. My B-fam, Ryan, my brother from another mother. Again, outstanding. I was somewhat surprised that you got rid of Patrick, only because I think performance in immunity challenges needs to be paramount, especially with a small tribe. And given where you guys are in the game, you had to expect to have 1 or 2 more vote outs before there was a swap. So you just didn't want to go to tribal council, and you had a better chance of not going to tribal council by keeping Patrick than by keeping Fish Lady Lydia. But nonetheless, I love the relationship that you have with Devin, and obviously you guys are working great with Allie. I'm loving your spot in this game, and I hope that you take it all the way, brother. My brother from another mother. I love you. I love you, Ryan. You're the best. But also on the Hustlers Tribe, Fish Lady Lydia, what are you doing? What are you throwing shade on redheads for? You've never trusted a redhead in your life? What's wrong with you? Redheads are awesome. Little window into Big Will's soul. My sensei is a redhead. He's a ginger ninja who teaches the giant ninja. So that works out pretty well. Nothing against redheads, Lydia. Shame on you. Also, it's been a strategy on your part not to tell people how good you are at things, which is fine. You have every right to do that, and there's some benefit to it. But if you're a softball player that's been throwing the ball for 30 years from center field and you don't tell people that, you can't get mad at them for not telling you to throw the ball in the challenge. You can't have it both ways, Lydia. Either tell them, I know how to throw, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play, or don't tell them. But if you don't tell them, don't complain after the fact. Hey, you didn't let me throw. Ugh. All right, well, that's all I've got. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja.
Hey, David, you know why it wouldn't be any change in the game for Lydia to tell them that she can throw? Because her name is Lauren. Go ahead.
Because Lydia's not in the game.
That's right. She's not playing. I don't know who Will's talking about. He pulled a D&D and called somebody the wrong name. Well, you know what? Like he said, they all look the same to him right now. So I love that. The Ginger Ninja teaches the Giant Ninja.
That's funny.
GN teaches the GN. Well, we don't have any iTunes reviews tonight to share, so we won't be doing that. And you know about Rewind Fast Forward with D&D. If you don't, just, my goodness, the premiere of Season 2 of Stranger Things is coming up. If you haven't listened to our Rewind Fast Forward with D&D about Season 1, you're going to want to do that because it's really good. We had a good time doing it. David, before I close it out, it was a good episode to me. I think it was at first it was like, who are we going to vote out? Who are we going to vote out? Who are we going to vote out? We're in love, whatever, and then a great challenge, and then a little bit of talk, and then somebody going home. But when I watched it the second time, I enjoyed it more.
That's a good way to describe it. Each tribe got to build up who they would vote out, but and then it just came down to one. It was a really good challenge. It felt like a filler episode, but it's still that episode you need before something big happens.
Yeah.
And I think next week you get the fan out and turn it on because the stuff's going to hit the fan when people have to start working with new people. And that's almost like day one again all over.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to next week.
It really is. All the relationships, it's like every single season, the person who was in charge of their tribe can be automatically boom. I mean, look at Troyzan. He was doing great.
Yeah.
He got swapped, and it's barely alive. Of course, he ended up going to the end, but still, he was in a rough spot there. And
if we see a bunch of healers get together, and Ben's alone and with one other hustler, I mean, Ben could be in trouble, especially if Mike's on there because Mike's the one that picked him out pregame as being a threat.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, thank you everybody for your feedback. Great stuff as usual. We just want to say thank you. Seriously, thank you for listening. Everybody, thanks for all of you who watched and talked in the chat room as we recorded on Thursday night. We really appreciate it. You get to hear all of the pre-show getting ready. Those who watch us record live, you get to hear in the middle of this show when Wendy's, those of you listen, you don't know this happened, but Wendy's feedback was the wrong one, and you got to hear us figure all that out. It's kind of fun. You get a little bit behind the scenes. So we record every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can see it on our live page, stwdd.com/live also. So we want to thank our patrons, our D&D patrons. We absolutely couldn't do it without y'all. Your monthly support of $2 or more is much appreciated. And don't forget, you're entered into the D&D Patron Sweepstakes, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that Skype call because, David, you and I are going to sit in on that Skype call.
Oh, yeah.
And enjoy it also because we are winners. Oh, man. All right. Well, I don't have any final words or predictions. So, David, I am finished. If you are finished, then are you finished?
I'm good to go.
All right.
Ready for next week.
All right. See you, everybody.
See ya.
Survivor Talk with D&D is a production of D&D Podcasting and is hosted by David Jones and Dwaine Stroud, the two Ds in D&D. We're two best friends who decided way back in December of 2011 that we wanted to share our love of Survivor with all who would listen. Follow me on Twitter at Survivor_talk. Join our Facebook group at stwdd.com/Facebook. A special thanks goes out to Adam Klein, the winner of Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X, for providing both his voice and time for our show introduction. The amazing music you heard is Never Again by Breaking Benjamin. Thank you to Mark Percy, who creates all of our graphics and puts up with my OCD for each new graphic he creates. Thank you to Patrick Monroe, who spent countless hours designing our website and continues to provide support at all hours of the night. Visit our website at stwdd.com for quick and easy access to our most recent shows, as well as all of the others. Discover our 2 other podcasts, Rewind Fast Forward with D&D and Movie Talk with D&D. Check out our D&D store for shirts, hoodies, and even coffee mugs, or just look around and click on things. We couldn't create and produce our podcast without the financial support of our D&D patrons, as well as those who use our Amazon links. So thank you for going above and beyond and sharing in the fun of D&D. Become a D&D patron at stwdd.com/patron and enjoy immediate access to all of our shows prior to their release date. On a personal note, thank you to David for your friendship and for not telling me I was crazy about this whole podcasting thing. To God be all the glory. Thanks for listening.